everyone! Welcome! Thank you for joining me today. So today it's going to be different from last time. I'm well rested. Unlike last time, which if you guys were here last time, I privated the video. I was really tired. And I think that's like part of the reason why it didn't go so well. But now I'm well rested. I was having trouble with that drawing. I finally was able to like sit down, try my best to draw, and I drew something that I really like. Also, if there is trouble with the sound, please tell me so that I can fix it. And without further ado, I think we can go straight to the art. So it's like last time. It's the same character as last time. Actually, I think I'm gonna put my... I'm sorry for the sound. I'm putting my mic up here so it's a bit easier. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're going to ink these and also color it, and hopefully it's going to go pretty well since the drawing is already basically made. I am trying a new brush to ink, so it has a little bit of texture. It's this one. It's the default rough pen, but as you can see, like it can be very thin and it can be very thick. So I'm trying to see if it's like a good fit for my art. I'll probably also use like retro effects on the art, and I've been trying to do like rendering, like actual rendering with a alcohol marker digital brush, but it takes way too long, to be honest. So I'm probably just going to do like cell shading with a little bit of pizzazz here and there. It's going to be fun, I think. So this character is for my video where I draw your OCs. So it's going to be one of the characters I draw for like the 10k special video that I've been teasing for quite a while. And to be completely honest with you, this was so hard. I did think about giving up a fair share of times because it was so hard for no reason at all. Pop. Oh. I really like this character because it did push me to try new things. So the last few weeks have been so incredibly busy for me because we're almost at the end of the year and I need to start focusing on my dissertation for my master's degree, which is a pain to work on, because I have to do like a proposal right now, and it takes a fair share of time to do. I'm still really interested in it. I think it's going to be like really fun if I go through with it. And it's going to be very interesting. But we just have so much stuff to do. We have like a bunch of other projects we have to work on, which kind of I actually have one project that I'm really happy to do, which is the I have to make a video game, like a really small video game, or at least test it out, because we have a class named interactive narratives. So that's basically what we do in that class. We did like we did a theoretical work on a narrative of our choice, or an aspect of a narrative, and then we did we're going to do a practical project, and for that I decided to make like a small visual novel, but because I'm only the only one working on it, it's going to be like really small, and it's probably not gonna see like the light of day when it comes to other people like online and stuff like that. At least the game will not see the light of day in this form, at least, because I've been getting really interested in game development lately. Like, I really want to study it. That's also basically the main reason why I haven't worked on videos in a long while, and why I'm deciding to, at least for now, I'm going to try to do like a few streams every now and then to kind of work it out. Hold on. I'm seeing that the audio is not working. Like the music's not working for some reason. Okay, sorry. So if there's anything going wrong, like you guys don't hear music, or you guys don't hear me very well, please comment. Please comment in the chat so I can fix it real quick, because it's a pretty easy fix. I'm using this brush, but I'm actually probably gonna switch to this one, because the last one was a bit... Is it noticeable? So yeah, if I change now? It's gonna go fine, probably. I just need to scale it up. There's been like a lot of new things going on. So for example, oh my god, I'm super excited about this. We're going to be having we're going to be having... Oh my god, we're gonna be having a new FNAF game, and I'm super excited about it. We've been waiting for it for like a year, probably. I'm so curious about what they did. what they're gonna do with it. I've been seeing a lot of videos where people are starting to think, okay, so the game's almost here. People have been getting, like, I know at least two people that got, two creators that got like a special box from Stillwell Studios, where they get like a themed package to, you know, to publicize the video game and to publicize the video game and to oh wait, I don't speak much English, but I try to understand what you're saying. Oh, thank you. Welcome, Charlie. Welcome. It's okay if you don't know English. I do know other languages if you guys want to switch to that eventually. Most of like my audience comes from the United States though. But just so you know, I do speak Portuguese and I do understand Spanish, although I do not know how to speak proper Spanish. But yeah, they did that. They gave like a fun box where it's like you're fired. That was like the whole theme of the box. And the box also had like it had a Spring Bonnie bobblehead. And I saw that and I was like, that's an interesting character to put on a bobblehead, especially because I do think that Secrets of the Mimic does my question, does the Fazbear diner already exist and the thing that they're working on is the Freddy Fazbear's pizzeria, or is it like the diner doesn't exist yet? Because like that's my main question about it. Do I know anything in Spanish? More or less, because like Portuguese and Spanish is pretty different, but it's also very similar. So let's see. I know well, okay, tell you what, tell me something and I'll see if I can say it in Spanish. Just because I can't think of anything right now. I'll just hold on for a little bit. But let's see. Yo soy una VTuber y mi nombre es Momopurin. Mi español eres muy malo, pero yo estoy intentando. Mi novio dice que mi español es semejante a castellano y yo consigo percibir eso porque yo soy portuguesa y todos los ejemplos de español que tengo en mi vida por muy tiempo por muy tiempo fue español de España. Agora yo hago more experiencia con otros españoles. Por ejemplo, mi novio es from Venezuela. Es de Venezuela. I'm switching up so hard. I don't understand. I did try. You can't tell me I didn't try. I tried to speak Spanish, but I probably should get better at it because my boyfriend is in fact from Venezuela and he made an effort to learn to speak Portuguese, so I probably should do an effort to speak Spanish too. But it's harder than it looks. And now I understand. Because sometimes I think people that know more than one language usually sometimes have trouble like speaking because they kind of mix all the languages. I'm only fluent in Portuguese and English, and I do that all the fucking time. Like I usually get some Portuguese words wrong because I'm so used to like listen to English and speak English when it comes to like online stuff and like my good, not bad at all. Thank you. I feel like you're kind of lying to me a little bit, but I'll accept that. I tried my best. There's something that as kids... Oh, because actually, as kids in Portugal, you are given the choice if you want to learn how to speak Spanish or if you want to learn how to speak French. And my family said, oh, you should probably speak French. And I think my school only had French as well. So I learned French. I do not know how to speak French though. I know like how to introduce myself. I think je suis Momo. That's it. I don't remember anything else. I know a few words though, because I liked Ladybug for a really long time. I am also from Venezuela. Oh my god! Hi Lila, welcome! Y créeme, me cuesta entender todo lo que dices. Oh, I'm taking it from the context. You probably are having a hard time understanding me. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know I had people in Venezuela looking at my videos. Okay, yeah. Oh, Stream Elements is finally working. Okay, guys. Try typing let me see if I can actually do it in the thing. Because last time I did the stream, it was not working. Like the Stream Elements were not working. Okay, hold on. Let me Okay, guys, try to type exclamation point and points, and you'll get like a message, probably. If this doesn't work this stream, I'll just probably delete those. You have like a few things that you can add. Hold on. You have... I'm gonna give you some commands and you guys can check it out if you want. If this one is working. Okay. If you guys wanna try that one, you can. Hello, Rascal! Wait, are you the same Rascal who participated on the the OC things? The event? Because if you are, I think you're gonna have a really good time. Hey Nemo, welcome! You are! Oh, you're gonna be happy then. I'm pretty sure I have you. Hold on. Not for today's stream, but you're there. Yeah, you're in the... Hello, Shadow Beanarts! Welcome! Welcome, welcome. I am going to divulge that I am working on 8 drawings. Technically, I've been here, just been lurking. Oh, that's totally fine. Lurking is totally okay. I know some streamers don't like that, but it's totally fine by me. As long as you guys are having fun, that's all I need to hear. So, I was having a really hard time with art styles, you guys know, because I told last stream. And, believe it or not, one thing that helped me get out of that was looking at Spideru's art. And if you guys don't know who Spideru is, he is the creator of Punch Punch Forever, which is like an animated series here on YouTube, and it's really fun. It is trying to not copy, it's like trying to get the same vibe as like old animes. He even has like little ad breaks where the ads aren't even real, and it's really fun, and I love his style a lot. So I took like a few things that I really liked about it and I implemented in my own. It's been so long last time we talked about Precure and FNAF, lol. If you arrived a little bit earlier, we were actually talking about FNAF. Well, most people were lurking, so I was talking to myself more than anything. But yeah, let's talk Precure. I am pretty behind. I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't watched an episode in weeks. I'm super late. What can I say is that since like the last big stream, I have done Cure Idol, Cure Wink, and Cure Kyun, and I've received spoilers that now there are 2 new cures, which are like Kirun and the other character. And I'm okay close with the designs. They're okay. They're fine. Your art is so pretty. I also love your content so much. Thank you for creating. Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh, I haven't heard of Punch Punch Forever. I'll have to check it out. I love looking into indie animation projects. There's such great ones out there. Hello, Incubus, welcome. I watched the first one ever, then I forgot about it till I saw you. Yeah, I feel like, and this is my opinion, I don't know if everyone shares this opinion, but I do feel like the first episodes of Precure are always they're always the weakest, in my opinion. So, Punch Punch Forever only has like 3 episodes out. And it's not very long, like the episodes are not very long. And it's one of those shows that I think that YouTube kind of tried. I don't think it was malicious, by the way, but I think YouTube didn't push it far enough. Because it is like an incredibly good show. I really love it. It's really funny. Speedero also did something that made them pretty popular. I just don't remember what exactly. About FNAF, which I think it's probably going to be like the conversation that can be more talked about, because we're so close. Because we're so close to a game release. I have a lot to say, to be honest. I'm really, really excited about this new one. And I hope it's good. I know that a lot of some people kind of go to these new games and say, oh, these games aren't as good anymore. And I'm like, well, it's evolving into something different, but that's not a bad thing entirely. If you don't like the new vibe, that's fine, but you also need to understand that a franchise isn't going to stay the same for over 10 years. So I'm totally fine with the changes. I think it's pretty smart of them to explore, instead of trying to completely rewrite like events that we already know about, they are trying to explore parts of the timeline that we haven't had the chance to explore. So Secrets of the Mimic, supposedly it's going to be in the 70s. Thank you, Rascal. It's going to be in the 70s, and I think I'm gonna be a little honest. I was a bit sad that it would be like specifically in the 70s, because I thought that exploring that in present time and having to deal with the mimic in present time was also a pretty cool concept. Present time, yeah, sorta, right? But now I'm warming up to the idea. I'm warming up to the idea of it being in the 70s. Hold on. Sorry. I needed to turn on a light. So, another thing that people, I know FNAF fans can be like very protective. I understand. I'm like that as well. I'm not above anyone. I'm also a Rabbit fan sometimes. But it's not Scott or anymore. Or better, it's not just Scott anymore. Now other people put inputs into this, you know? So the story is never going to be... And maybe it's actually a good thing, because Scott wasn't very good at keeping things streamlined either, you know? Right now, things are a lot more straightforward. Like, Steel Wool does not have any issue in basically telling us the story a lot more in our face. You know what I mean? When it was like the Scott era, you had to actively search and jump a few sharks every now and then. Now you don't need to do that as much, which I think is a good change. Ayakwa, welcome! I love your VTuber model so much. The hair is super cute. Oh my god, thank you! I worked on this for like a month. A month and maybe some, because I had to do the rigging as well. I was actually able to use this for a school project as like the model. What are you drawing? Oh, I'm working on a video right now where I draw fans OCs to celebrate the 10K special. And this is Sudinko's... sorry. This is Sudinko's OC. And I think the name of the OC is Squid. Hi Mia, welcome! If we're able to finish this one, I also have other OCs on the line to be worked on. Oh. I was also thinking about doing a stream on Friday, but I was like, oh wait, Friday is when Secrets of the Mimic is going to come out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be like very present, because I am the type of person that I don't play the game, but I definitely want to see the playthroughs. And we might get the playthroughs a little bit before the time, just because usually Doko gets his version a little bit sooner than other people, so he can do like all the videos. Love your drawings, always sunny and beautiful. Oh my god, thank you so much, Mia. But yeah, are you guys also excited about Secrets of the Mimic? Because I do feel like it's going to be like a new thing for the franchise. Like it's going to start like a new, smaller like era. I think it's going to be really fun. I think we're going to see characters from like later on in the timeline, so we'll probably see an older version of Monty. We kind of see an older version of Monty in the trailer. We will see an older version of LP. We will also see an old version, an old version You know what would be super fun? If we saw like the spring suits, the original ones. That would be amazing. My only FNAF experience so far is the movie, but I like that a lot. I'm looking forward to the upcoming sequel. All the lore FNAF has is so cool. I agree. At the same time, I think that I also think that the FNAF lore is a bit of a mess sometimes, but at the same time, I'm just in too deep to get out right now. Like, I'm 10 years deep. I cannot get out of this fandom anymore, you know what I mean? I was also iffy about it because how could the Mimic exist that early, but I want to see the story first. Hi Sunny, welcome! Yeah, I do think Well, I think they did a good job explaining why the mimic exists and why we haven't seen them so far. Because, like, they try to explain it in the books, and I know there's, like, a lot of discourse if the books are canon or not for this continuity, or if they have, like, a continuity of their own. And my personal opinion is that probably the books are not one-to-one, but I think that things happened very similarly, if not exactly the same. They did happen sort of similarly. So we also got the confirmation that Murray and Henry are not the same person, which was like a big point of contention for a really long time. People were like, oh, I don't know if they thought Henry was like a parallel, me included. I did think he was a parallel to Henry, but now it seems that he is like a third person in the beginning of the franchise, which is fine. I do think that since Steelwool is like a newcomer to the series, I think they do deserve to put a few things in the story as well and leave their mark. So I'm not upset about it at all. I actually think it's pretty cool. You were gone for a bit. Oh, that's totally fine. But yeah, I think... Jesus. Oh, hold on. What is it? So, it's thundering outside, and my dog is super scared of thunder, so he actually just barged into my room and is trying to go into my lap. Sweetheart, então fofinho. Let me just go to the BRB screen. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna close some windows and get some water because I actually need water as well. Hold on. I think he's gonna be scared for a little bit. He sort of settled down, so it should be fine. Yeah, I do have one. I have one dog and 2 cats. The cats that do not care about the thunderstorms. They literally do not care. But my dog is very afraid of them. So, there's also like the point of people have been talking about who do we play as in the game, and for a long time I was like, we probably don't play as someone very important. Maybe we're going to die in the game, who knows? But then I was like, they like started to give people those like packages. So they gave John from FNAF, and they also gave to they gave to another guy. I don't remember the name, but they gave that person as well the same box where it had all sort of stuff. They had all sort of stuff regarding the game, and it was themed after, oh, you were fired, and maybe that's how the game went, with us being fired. But but they also put in the box a Spring Bonnie bobblehead, and everyone was like, a Spring Bonnie bobblehead? Well, there's only one character related to Spring Bonnie, and that's William Afton, the purple guy himself. Does this mean that we play as William Afton? And I saw that and I was like, oh, that would be amazing. Like, no joke, that would be insanely amazing if we were to play as William Afton. And we also got like a few voice actors revealed, and some of them are like, they worked before. Right, I have been wondering that for so long. Yeah. And at first I always thought that we would be just a nobody, but after that I was like, no, we definitely play as William Afton. And but like I was saying, the voice actors, they are like the ones that they released, they are repeat voice actors, right? So we have the guy that does the hand unit voice, and I was like, okay, I think we all knew that because he does the voice in the trailer. But then we have the voice of Funtime Freddy, and I was like, well, that's weird, unless they liked his voice really like a ton, and they ended up choosing him for another character or a similar character to Funtime Freddy. And I saw that and I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then they have the voice for Glamrock Freddy, Sun, and Moon. And I was like, okay, well, this one has more than one character, so they probably like them a lot. But this also might mean that Sun and Moon are going to come back, and we are going to see Sun and Moon as one character from back then. Did they have Monty? I don't think so. It would be crazy. I think if they have a Monty version they probably won't tell anything about it. But you know who was there? And at that point I was very interested, because I think it's very interesting that both Funtime Freddy, the voice of Funtime Freddy, and the voice of Circus Baby are included in the voice actor list. I don't know. Pretty weird. I saw that and I was like, okay. Because a while back, Game Theory did a theory where they were like, well, maybe William Afton always had like a accomplice, and that accomplice was probably Circus Baby, or maybe the accomplice was Elizabeth, and maybe it's like Elizabeth dressed as a Circus Baby or something like that, but maybe at someone. And now people are saying, well, maybe it's not that the mimic is copying Afton, but just the opposite, that maybe Afton was copying the mimic by stuffing kids, the same thing that the mimic does, you know? And so that was really interesting to see. And it left me really curious about what direction they are going for. We also got a Dead by Daylight event where they finally added Springtrap. They finally added Springtrap, and I think it was pretty neat. The model is, no joke, one of the best models that we have of Springtrap. It was amazing. And I actually found someone who did like a rip of the model online, and I actually used it for a school project, and the animation is done, so I actually might share it eventually on maybe Friday in like a short or something like that. I just need to edit out a few things. Like I need to edit out like names of people that participated but probably don't want to be mentioned. The whole lore would get confusing if Afton copies the mimic. Not necessarily. I think that when people say that Afton copied the mimic, they are only referring to the stuff in the kids. Because, like, we still don't know. We still don't know how. We still don't know how Afton found out about remnants or about, like, because we've been thinking about it like, oh, we probably saw an animatronic act kind of weird, be it because his son died or because his daughter died. He saw someone being kind of weird. But there's also sort of this question that I often see around where maybe that's not when he started killing. Maybe he started killing in the 70s. I don't know. FNAF is always so complicated. You should share it. I am thinking about sharing it in like a short or something, yeah. Your lines are so clear and clean. I want to learn to make my lines like this. I can really quickly teach you. So basically, I have a lot of stabilization in my lines. That's always a great way of like making the lines a lot cleaner and a lot crisper. The brush that I use is a textured brush because I like the grit that it has. I'm using the default textured brush from Clip Studio Paint. And another thing is, which I think most people don't talk about it. I think is actually a pretty great idea if you want to get real about getting clean line art, which is just use a dipping pen for a while. Dipping pen like IRL, like, you know, the pens that mangaka use. Try practicing with that. The moment you get comfortable with that, line art, digital line art becomes so easy. So stupidly easy. I think it's worth trying out, especially because you might actually like it. Might actually like using dipping pens. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm always confused because how would he know to stuff them from Elizabeth if he made them to put the kids there, and that's why she died? Yeah, I think it might be that. Yeah, that's the big problem of the situation, isn't it? Maybe if you believe that the crying child died first, maybe he saw something in Golden Freddy? But even then, it's like, probably not, right? Are dipping pens good for traditional art in general? It depends. Dipping pens are one of my favorite pens. You do have to be very careful with the paper you choose, though, and the ink you choose, because there's inks and there's inks, right? If you're just going to do it in black and white and you're not going to use watercolors or alcohol markers or anything like that, just about any type of ink works. If you want to go through watercolors or Copics or something like that, you need to be careful because some inks smudge. So you need to look at the ink you're buying and make sure that that's the right ink for you. Because they usually say waterproof, or they usually say like it doesn't smudge with alcohol markers and stuff like that. So there's that. And then the paper, usually textured paper is a really bad choice for dipping pens. I would say Bristol paper is probably the best paper, but you also have manga paper and stuff like that that works probably better. I just never tried it. And then there's other things, which is what's the perfect dipping pen tip for you? Because there's a ton of dipping pen tips, right? So you have the G pen, you have the Maru pen, you have the school pen, you have the spoon pen, you have mapping pen, you have like a ton of nibs, right? That you can use. And some you're gonna hate, some you're gonna love. You just have to try it out. Oh, just remember that the Maru pen usually needs like a different cable. Like, not a cable, like a holder, a different holder for it, because it's way too small. But aside from that, it's don't use it in the opposite direction, because I used to do that when I was starting out. That's always a bad idea. It doesn't work very well. But aside from that, it should be fine. I'll have to share the dipping pen tip with my spouse. They're an artist and recently got into writing with pens similar to that style, like fountain pens. Fountain pens work really nice as well. I haven't found a fountain pen that I really like yet, but dipping pens are also pretty good. I would also say study from like great inking artists, because your inking will improve by having a bigger visual library. Because Crying Child just got his head bits off, plus Henry would often wear the Fredbear suit, so we would have seen it before. I don't know. I feel like that's probably what they're trying to answer though with this game. I'm pretty sure that's what they want. Thank you for the advice. Anytime, Mia. I'm learning so much about FNAF and art in this stream. So fun. Thank you. So it's about practicing with different ones. I can do that. Yes, definitely. Hold just a second. I need to open the door for the dog. Hold on. Yes, unfortunately, it's a lot about trial and error. But you'll probably find a lot of stuff that you will like to use as tools for your work. Oh, totally forgot to say this. As of like last stream, I started to implement like a super chat goal. And if at the end of the stream I get to like, I think I set it at $50, I will draw a character for free. I will have the people that donated into a wheel, then I'll spin the wheel and then I'll draw for the person that the wheel chooses. Hello, yes sisters, welcome. Sorry I'm late. I forgot it started at 11. It's totally fine. It actually started at 4 p.m. for me. Love the stream today. Thank you so much, Sunny. It's going a whole lot better than last time. I'm going to guarantee that. Okay. I know that, but you probably should know that usually dipping pens are pretty hard to learn. I still think you should probably learn it as soon as possible, but I will not lie to you, it is a pretty hard thing to master. It involves a lot of control, and it can be a little tricky sometimes, but I can assure you it is worth it. I love your art. This is the first time in your streams. I'm very excited. Oh my god, thank you! Me again, I wanted to know if you have the possibility to activate the subtitles so that they are available to the viewers. Can I do that? I don't know if I can, like, activate... Hold on, just a second. I'm gonna try to add it. I tried to put them, but it says they're not available. Hmm. I'm not sure if the I'm not sure if I can do it actually. I tried to see because we do have an option to do like I think I can do it. Maybe you'll only get the captions. Auto-generated YouTube captions might struggle with live streams. I do think it might struggle with it. I think they only add the captions after the stream is over. Sorry. Yeah, hopefully William is a player, so it answers the dilemma. Yeah. I hope so too, honestly. But most people are like, well, now the thing is even more complicated. I don't think so. I actually think they are doing a pretty good job about taking like a messy timeline and kind of making something interesting out of it. Because like a lot of people say that they don't like the story of Security Breach, and I'm like, that's fair, but it's not entirely Sewell's fault, especially since Scott basically told us, yeah, I didn't say what the actual story was before we worked on the game, so they kind of just try to figure out just as much as we did. So it got very confusing because of that, and I think that's like the main reason. Because Scott committed a mistake, which was being too precious about his own story, so much so that he didn't want to tell anyone. And I understand, because FNAF does kind of like work very well because it's so mysterious. But if you are working with someone that is adding to the canonicity of the story, you need to tell them the actual story. And I think they finally fixed that, or at least they say they did. So hopefully they did. But yeah. I'm thinking about also adding like a gaming stream every week. I think that would be pretty fun. I need to round up all the games I'm willing to play and then do maybe like letting you guys choose which ones we play. Because since I rebranded, I've been also thinking about privating the old streams, because they're kind of just there. I'm not gonna finish the games. If I'm going to play the game again, I'm going to play it from the start, so I know I'll probably just private them. People are also iffy about the new characters since we are so used to William and Henry being the creators. Yeah, but to be completely fair, Fazbear Entertainment stealing stuff is super on brand for them. I'm not against the character of Edwin. I do find it super funny that for some reason Father Brown is the image we all use for Edwin. If you guys don't know, and especially if you guys are too young to know, Father Brown is like a whodunit type of detective. So it's like a detective in a small village, and the detective is basically the pastor of, well, not the pastor because it's in England, but yeah, the pastor of that that church, right? So it's very funny. I really like the show. To me, it's super funny that they use the image of Father Brown for Edwin. Especially because I think most people don't, like, most people in the FNAF fandom don't know who Father Brown is. But yeah. Right, also lying is super on brand. Absolutely. Absolutely on brand. Because we also thought because when we saw the trailer, we all thought they were lying through their teeth about the role of Edwin and what we were actually supposed to take from his shop. Because I believe we probably take way more than we should. That's a shame. So, do you think the books are books in the games or just stories? I didn't mention that before, but I think the books are probably, they might not be like one-to-one with what actually happened. They might have their own little continuity, but I do think they are like very connected. I don't think they are stories. Oh, because I did hear that theory that says that Fazbear Frights and stuff like that are actually like ploys from Fazbear Entertainment, kind of like the VR game was. And that's fun to think about. I don't think that's the case. Just because it does kind of fill in some blanks way too nicely. Unless you are talking about, because you have the Pizzaplex ones and then the Fazbear Frights ones. The Fazbear Frights ones, I can see them being books released by Fazbear Entertainment. The Pizzaplex ones, I don't think so. What I think is really cool about FNAF lore is that, yeah, it's convoluted, but it's convoluted in a way that gives fans so much to theorize on, and I think that's really fun. It seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, the individual game plots are easier to follow. It's the bigger story that has more mystery. Yes, because yes, you're totally right, because the games are actually pretty easy to understand, because look, you can't be more straightforward than you go in, you stay there 5 nights, you work, you leave. You kind of understand that the animatronics are haunted, and that's it. And for the longest time, that was the plot for the games, was you go in, you work 5 days, you go out. That's it. What made people really interested was, how are the animatronics haunted? Who killed the children? Who do we play as? That sort of stuff, which I do think that... Here, let's be real clear. Scott did not have everything planned out from the beginning. He genuinely thought FNAF was going to be the last video game he would create. He was really lucky that people got really interested in the game, and then he took that and he made the story. So everything that we see in the first game, it's as easy to understand as it can be, you know? Because he didn't plan to do more. He genuinely thought that it was going to be the last one he was going to do, because the other games were not going very well, and he thought it was going to happen. He thought it was going to be the same thing with this one. Fortunately, it was not, but he thought it would. And that's kind of what it matters right now. So, you know. But I don't know if at some point he bit more than he could chew, to be honest. Because I do have this sneaky suspicion that maybe the story has become so big that even Scott has his own, like, little questions about it. Like, everything is not planned out. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but FNAF used to develop at this rapid speed. Like, it was so fast. I do not think he had enough time to, like, ponder about small details. Like we thought he did, you know? By the way, you know that post about drawing people's OCs? Are you still gonna do it or not? It's okay if not, though. I am doing it right now, actually. This is one of the OCs that I chose. It's just that I'm really, really busy with college, and it's really hard to, like, get time to do it. That's why I'm doing these streams as well, so that I can kind of force myself to make time for it. But yeah, I actually have 8 characters planned, and some of them are basically done. So I have 2 completely done, I have 2 more that are almost complete, and then I have then the other ones are just sketches for now, but I am working on them. So don't worry, I have done the thumbnail for the video and everything. It's going to go up, the characters have already been chosen. I'm in the middle of drawing them, I just need time to finish it. I'm sorry for taking so long. I know it can be really, really annoying. It's just that I just don't have time, unfortunately. I think simple games plus complex overarching plot is a good way to handle a big story. Like, I love Kingdom Hearts, but individual games are IMO confusing if you don't know the whole picture. Yeah, that's an understatement. I did try to get into Kingdom Hearts and I got confused very fast. Like, I saw a video of 3 hours explaining the lore of Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to get into this anymore. Oh, cool. If it looks really good and we know you're busy, don't worry, still love you. Oh my god, thank you. That said, from what I've heard, the creator biting off more than he could chew thing Woods can... Yeah. I think... Which is fine, you know? Because this is like the first story that it had a whole lot of public support that they had. And we all kind of bite more than we could chew usually in our first story and later stories as well. But yeah. From what I've learned, yeah, Kingdom Hearts lore is pretty deep. It also doesn't help that Kingdom Hearts has like technically 3 main games, because you have Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. And you think, okay, there's only 3 games. No. There's like a bunch of games in between those games. Like a Kingdom Hearts 2.5 and a Kingdom Hearts 2.1.3, something like that. And it's really confusing to someone who's like, I want to start playing Kingdom Hearts. And it's like, bet, where do you begin, you know? I question the naming system a lot. Yes. Yeah, because that confused me a lot. So much so that I did eventually gave up on, like, playing the games or watching gameplays of the game, because I was like, oh, there's just so many games. Just too many games. Because then, when you have a series with so many games, you're like, okay, which of these games can I ignore? And then you kind of find out you can't ignore any of them, because the story is that convoluted. And you just kind of have to sit there like, okay, I guess. You guys can try the... Because you've been here for a while. I'm gonna try to find my... Okay, there you go. You can probably see the points you guys have. I've pinned the comments with the things you can ask for with your points. So maybe you can check your points by doing an exclamation point and then points to see how many... Oh, no, okay, you have to type exclamation point active and then you start getting points. Sorry. This is like... Type active first. Instead of points, active. So that the system knows you want to participate. I'm so sorry. I should have told you before. I didn't think it was working though, because last time it didn't work. Okay, now try to type points so you can see if you really got 10 points. Sorry is a wonderful sunshine boy, and I love the Disney elements too, but I've given up on following the story, not gonna lie. I've seen a few memes that I really liked about they had like this thing where it was all dramatic and then it had Pete there, and I was like, it's really funny. I just don't know how to explain it right now. It's darkness versus light and the balance between the two, but it goes many places. It sounds somewhat annoying to keep track of, because at its core, it should be a simple story. It should be a simple story. Because it is a classic. If the points don't work, that's fine. I'm gonna try and see later after the stream how I can fix it. Yeah, at its core, it should be simple. It's not, though. Don't they have like a part where Mickey is evil? Okay, now we just need to fill in the blacks. And then we can get into the coloring, which is going to be pretty fast. I'm usually really fast at coloring. It's just the inking and the drawing that takes a really long time. The problem with Kingdom Hearts is that it also has gone for kind of way too long, and now people just don't know what's the story anymore. I also think that FNAF was going through like a very weird phase where you would not understand the plot if you weren't caught up with everything. And it was sort of bad for people that weren't very used to it. Like, I know people that were kind of like, oh, I didn't like the movie because I didn't understand it, and then the fans were like super happy about the movie. I really liked the movie, that's my personal opinion. But I did go with 2 friends, and they said, oh, I really didn't like it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, they kind of looked at the entire theater like, oh, everyone liked it, but it was pretty terrible. And I was like, no, it was really good. I went to see it twice in the cinema, actually, because I really, really liked it. Because here's the thing, I do think the movie was made first and foremost for the fans, and I'm really happy about it. I liked it a lot, and it was my first FNAF experience. I did get a briefing from fans, I know, but it was pretty simple. Yeah, because I do think they did like their own little thing, where they tried to do like not a different story, but a little bit of a different circumstance, and I think that went pretty well. Because it was so clearly detached from the games that we could just see it and enjoy it for what it was. I think it was really nice. I also went to see the Minecraft movie, and I have thoughts. Was it a good movie? Not really. Was it fun? It was. I liked it. I kind of liked it. It was fun enough. The kids, because I did go, when I went, there were a lot of kids in the theater. They were super happy. Some of them were like, oh, this happens in the game, or this happens in the game. And I do feel like the kids really loved it. And I know I'm not the target audience, so I do think they did their job. Jack Black did a pretty good job. People were kind of hating on him because technically he's now on everything, but let's be honest, he is really funny, he is really good, and I am glad they chose him to be Steve. I think that overall it was a good movie. I also went to see Snow White. Did I like Snow White? I did not. I think I understand what they were going for. It just doesn't work with the story of Snow White. They changed it a little bit too much. I don't understand why they did the dwarfs, the seven dwarfs, as like CGI. That's so weird. They also made God, how do you call him in English? It's not Dumbo. What's his name? God, what's his name? The last one. They did like the last one. He never speaks. He spoke in this movie for some reason. I don't know why. It was very... like, I don't know, it was not very fun. The movie was separate enough and with enough info for new fans, which I really like since my siblings didn't know the games. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Not good, but fun, and kids who love Minecraft love it so much, which is great. The Minecraft movie was funny and had a lot of memorable moments, but I don't know if I would watch it just by myself. Yeah, Dopey, yes. Dopey. They made Dopey talk at the end, and I was like, but his whole thing is that he doesn't talk. Like, the whole thing about Dopey is that you can see what he's thinking by his actions alone, and that's amazing. Why did they do that? They like made it so that the other dwarves were like actively bullying Dopey, and I was like, oh, when was this established? Like, yeah, in the original they like kind of messed with him, but it was not malicious. Live action Snow White would be better if they didn't have to be a Snow White movie, you know, following all the specific beats. Yeah, I do think that if it was like a normal movie, they could have, because they were clearly trying to do something different, and that's fine. I'm not against it. It's just that they kept trying to force the Snow White beats, and it did not work. I still feel like you could do a strong female, a strong Snow White, like a strong girl Snow White, like a boss Snow White. But for that, stuff needs to be changed quite a bit. Like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the prince needed to be changed. They did, like, instead of a prince, is like a Flynn Rider type of character, and I don't think they needed that. For some reason, they thought they needed that. I don't think they needed that. The prince works just as fine, because the thing about the prince is that it's like a thing that fairy tales do that a lot. I actually did I like that they did with the protagonist and the love interest, but it would be a better as its own separate movie. That's, yeah. The characters by themselves are not bad. It's just the context. Like, the context of that being a Snow White movie, I feel like they skipped beats that were important and then didn't skip beats that were not important. I made a work, like a theoretical work, where I explored a little bit of the fairy tale thing, because fairy tales are very specific, and there's this thing that we've been doing for quite a while now, which is sanitizing the stories, which I understand why. I just don't think you need to do it every single time. And fairy tales sometimes don't need to be satirized, because, believe it or not, the actual fairy tales are really brutal. Like, characters show a lot more agency than the ones that we now see on screen. I don't know, I feel like fairy tales have their own little place, and I think we should kind of bring it back instead of just satirizing fairy tales as we've been doing for decades by now, you know? I do get what you mean with the prince change being off, though. Like, keeping him more simple would let them do more with Snow White's character. Yes, absolutely. Because they could do, like, the Snow White kind of getting her things. Or, you know what? They could have done an interesting movie where Snow White starts as this girl that is afraid to speak up, right? They kind of tried to do that. And then she gains confidence. And they could have made so that Snow White gains confidence because she makes connections with other people. And that's when she realizes, oh, I can be a leader, you know? Because they tried to do that, but it was sort of weird. Because they were always talking about her dad, and then at the end, like, the entire time, you know, the dad is not there anymore, you know? Because, like, there was no sign of them. So they kind of just did that. They kind of introduced this seed of maybe the dad is still alive, and he was clearly not still alive. I don't know. It was an odd choice, in my opinion. They did focus maybe a bit too much on the romance aspect, which I understand why they did that. The romance between the prince and Snow White is pretty important. At the end, well, I'm thinking about it because I haven't seen the movie in so long, but like, let's think about it, okay? Snow White effectively ends with the prince saving the princess. That's the whole point. And so they decided to counteract that by changing a ton of stuff, and the true love's kiss is not the end of the movie, which is fine, I guess. I was just really kind of upset that it was not the seven dwarfs that killed the witch, to be completely honest. I was kind of upset about it. I try to be positive and try to accept changes as much as I can, but like, it was, I don't know, it was a weird movie. I remember being somewhat upset about them doing a version, like a live action version of Snow White, just because Snow White was the first animated pictures film from Disney, you know? I was like, oh, I thought they would like to keep it as like this little almost sacred title. They did not, which is fine, but yeah, I've seen a lot of movies as well during like this couple the couple of times that I was not streaming or doing anything like that. I've seen, oh my god, okay, have you guys seen the Until Dawn movie? I've seen a lot of like bad reviews of the movie, but I really liked it. I found it was really fun because they didn't do, they wanted to do like sort of prequel thing, and I actually think they did it pretty well. Like, the graphics were pretty good. They looked straight out of the movie, the game. Sure, the characters were different, the motivations were different. It sort of looked like a sort of like a Dead by Daylight movie, but at the same time I'm like, you couldn't do something. If you followed the game too much, you could just play the game, you know what I mean? So it needed to be something different, and I think they did a really good job. It was also not super long. It was actually pretty short, especially compared with movies that that go to the cinemas these days. It's pretty short. It was like an hour and something, like an hour and a half. Pretty short and sweet. It was a really nice experience. I really liked it. got the wrong layer. Any upcoming movies this year you're excited about? FNAF 2. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited about FNAF 2, and I've been seeing like every film that's that interests me, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I kind of see them as they come to theater. So there's FNAF, and then there's not any specific game that I'm super, super, super excited about. Like, I don't know, this year's hold on. I don't know this year's Disney movie per se. I know they have a lot of live action movies they are working on. They have the Lilo and Stitch movie, which they released a while back. I did watch it. I sort of liked it. There were a few things that I thought were odd changes from the original, but as a standalone, it was fine. What's your favorite movie that you've watched so far? Like this year, or like just in general? Because, let's see. One of my favorite movies is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, like the first one. That one was my favorite for a long time. And then there's like there's like a lot of movies that I watched that I didn't like. So like I watched Wish, which I didn't like. This year, which was my favorite? This year, maybe... That's a good question. Hold on. I'm gonna see like a list of movies from this year, and then let's see. I watched The Monkey. I liked it. I liked the comedy of it. I watched Mikey 17. It was pretty nice as well. If I were to choose a favorite, I watched Sinners the other day. It was amazing. But my favorites are always animation movies, so let's see. I haven't seen any animated movies in a long time. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know which is my favorite right now. I don't think I've gotten a game that was impressive enough to be considered my favorite one. Which is a shame. I think everything is becoming very commercial, to a point where I think corporations are way too worried about making profits rather than making movies that resonate with people. That's really sad. Because for me, I always prefer the more sincere movies. I think those are always super special. And there just simply haven't been a lot of movies like that for quite a while now. Yeah, profit over product is a sad state of things. Yes, absolutely. Uh, like he's doing a movie, aren't they? They're doing a movie, and I love Leica movies. I don't know if it releases this year. If it releases this year, then that's another movie I'm looking forward to. Leica is the same. Leica is the the studio with the puppets. It's like the stop motion studio. They did Coraline and they did Paranorman and stuff like that. Those were really fun movies. So I'm always super excited to see what they come up with next. Some people say that their movies are not as good anymore. I'm like, they're pretty good to me. I think it's just a question of we grew up and kind of have a different way of looking at things. That doesn't mean the movies aren't as good, though. They are still pretty good. What other things do we have right now that are pretty exciting? Oh, the Switch 2. The Switch 2 released. I found it so funny that some people were like, "Oh, we need to boycott Nintendo." And I was like, "No one's gonna boycott Nintendo," and I was right. No one was boycotting Nintendo. Because from what I've heard, those people were also the most easily ones to fold over. I was like, well, There you go. I was not very surprised. I do agree the prices are very high, but I also think it's because of the tariffs. I think it's because of the inflation and everything like that. And I understand people getting mad at it. I completely understand. I do think that jumping from that to let's boycott Nintendo, that's... Dude, if you want to boycott Nintendo, boycott PlayStation as well, because PlayStation does the exact same thing. That's my opinion anyway. I don't like the incoherence of the thing. Oh, oops. Got it wrong. This one. Deltarune also released, which I'm super happy about, but I didn't get the chance to get it yet. Yeah, I don't know why Nintendo draws the most fire, but people were saying to boycott them over the last few Pokemon games too, and it never seems to quite happen, lol. Yeah, they said that, oh, I remember, they were mad. The prices are super high though, they are. I get the dissatisfaction, yes. They are very high, but it's one of those things that it's like, they are very high, but they're not higher than what other companies are charging. So to me, it's not that they are mad because of the prices, it's that they are mad because of the prices with Nintendo, but they are totally fine with spending the same amount or more with PlayStation and Xbox. To me, that just seems a bit incoherent, but that's me. They also were very mad because Nintendo is... they're kind of dropping the physical games, which... I'm gonna be super honest, I'm actually pretty happy about, because I hate physical games. Because when you have to pay to play, you have to take off the cartridge and then put the new one, and then if you want to change back, you have to do the same thing again. And changing games is already like a pretty long affair, because the Nintendo has to like load the entire game every time you want to play a game. But so to me, that's a pretty good change. And I saw someone say like, oh, well, if you do that, then... And it's not like you can't still share it, because you can definitely still share your game. You just can't play the game at the same time in more than one device, which is fair. You only bought one game. But someone's like, oh, if you do that, then families with more than one kid will have to pay for 2 games. And I was a bit confused by that. I was like, what do you mean they have to play to buy more than one game? Do kids in America not share? Because the guy was American, by the way. Not share their consoles with their siblings? Like, when I was a kid, we had a Nintendo DS and a PSP, and my sister and I would share them. Like, we would play... Like, for example, we both wanted to play Nintendo. Okay, one played, then like half an hour would pass by, but because we are small, maybe 10 minutes. And then my sister would get to play the game, and then once her turn was over, I would get to play the game, because that's how we learn how to share, right? So I was a bit surprised by that, because I was like, you have many things you can say about it. I don't think this is one of them. Hold on, let me see if everything's still fine. Okay, you don't have music right now. Do you have music now? No, you don't. Hold on. I don't know why it does this. I'm so sorry, the stream closed. Like, my OBS closed. Hold on. I'm so sorry. My thing closed out of nowhere. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, you guys have sound now. Okay. Okay, everything seems to be going fine, so I'm going back to drawing. Yeah, for a minute there, but yes, I agree that it's weird people don't get on other companies as much. Hi, Sunny, welcome! Welcome! I think it's just because technically Nintendo is like the budget-friendly company. It was the budget-friendly company for a really long time. But I think someone actually made the counts, like the counting, and the Switch 2 adjusted to inflation is actually way less expensive than the the Nintendo 64 back in the day. I think it's maybe because Nintendo has become for casual gamers, not serious gamers, which is really not a good reason. Yeah, that's definitely... You changed your avatar? Yes, I did! I did a video about it where I redesigned my old avatar. I wasn't vibing with it anymore because I did make her when I was a bit younger, and so it didn't fit me anymore, so I kind of just changed it. You guys want to see something? I think you're gonna love it. Hold on. I need to remember which was the... This one? Yes, it's this one. Can you guys see him? It's my mascot, it's Custard. He's so cute. And he blinks with me. If I do this, he also moves. Hello, Life Carbon, welcome! Thank you! I worked really hard on this model, actually. Like, I worked on it for so long. Because I did everything. I did the rigging, I did the arts, I did like the planning of what was going to be animated and what was not going to be animated. But I was like really invested in it, so sometimes I would stay up late working on it because I was having so much fun. That's so much work, it shows in the quality for sure. Oh my god, thank you! Who are you drawing in your VTuber and your art both look so adorable? Thank you so much! So I'm drawing a fans OC for like my Drawing Your OCs event. It's a 10k special event. Basically I chose 8. I chose 8 characters from my community, and now I'm drawing them in my style, and then once I'm done with every single one, I'm gonna compile it into a video. Just basically thanking you guys for reaching 10k. Okay, so I think I'm going to like erase a bit so that I can have like really soft gradients in some parts. Oh. It'll probably make it more appealing, but let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to use like a darker color for deeper shadows, and then I'll use a blue on top to make the colors a bit better. I'm doing this over a white background just because it's easier. You don't get too caught up in the colors. But Mario Kart looks pretty good, right? I haven't played it. I don't even have Mario, the other Mario Kart. But it looks really awesome. Okay. Okay, so this one is going to be a linear burn, and then I'm gonna be like this percent. Then I'm gonna add the blue. And you usually want to add like cooler colors in like contact zones to make it more interesting. There's so many racer options. I look forward to playing it eventually. Yes, me too. Because I'm one of those people that's like, I really want a Switch 2, just not right now. So I'll definitely get one eventually. I love the new outfits that they gave the girls. Like the racer Rosalina looks so good. I really like her outfit. Nope. So, talking about racer options, what the hell is the cow? Is that just a reference to that cow level in Mario Kart Wii, or like the green pastures or something like that? Or is that a reference to another very specific character that I just don't know about? That's a good question. Yeah, right? You guys didn't think about it either, did you? I'm pretty sure it's just a reference to that level, but either way, it's pretty funny, right? It looks so cute. Oh, I need to fix that when it comes to like the coloring. Hold on. Oh, cute. Okay, now I'm going to add. Thank you, thank you. Now I'm going to add like a very a line between the two colors so that it gets a little bit more interesting. So I just pick the color, make it more saturated, and then make a line separating both colors like this. Okay, so I'll just finish this up and then we need to finish the stream, okay? We're almost done. Okay. Thanks for streaming. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, I wasn't too much of a chatterbox, and I hope to catch the next one. No, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I'm almost done with this, and because technically I kind of have to do something after this, so I kind of need to hurry up actually. But I don't want to leave the stream without it being somewhat finished. So it's just a question of adding a little bit more detail. Now I'm just going to do like the lines and color most of the lines. Hold on. Okay. Okay. We're almost done. And we're done. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was amazing. The stream went really, really well. Ooh. Thank you so much for joining me today. And well, I really want to do a stream maybe on Friday. If not, it's going to be on next Monday. I also want to do like a stream where we play games. I'll probably like pick a few that I would want to play on stream, and then I let you guys decide which one we will start playing. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye! Thank you so much!